Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is a recent drive I did yesterday on test loop 1 of FSD Beta 10.12.2. Unfortunately, my microphone wasn't working in the car yesterday, so I'm doing a voiceover recording right now. The audio we're hearing is some background audio from the Insta360 camera on top of the car. So coming up here on the first unprotected left, you'll notice that we are interacting with the vehicle across from us, as well as waiting for one crossing. And the car slams on the brakes right here, and then resumes the acceleration, and I give it a 3 for its grade. I hit the autopilot snapshot button there because I didn't like how left justified it was in the roadways. What I'm pointing out here is that because of the route mapping, I actually have to disengage full self-driving to make this left-hand turn coming up here. For some reason, that's been a bug for the past several versions. I re-engage the system here, and it proceeds through to the first roundabout. Now with roundabout number 1, you'll notice there's a hard stop here, a slow commit, and then as we make this turn, it quickly accelerates through. I give this a score of 4. Autopilot waiting here for the long light. Light turns green, and the car begins to proceed. Our first controlled intersection gets a score of 5. Coming up now on our second controlled intersection, sometimes this car likes to go to the left, and you notice that it kind of flickered there momentarily, the path planner, like it was going to go into that left-hand turn lane. But I'm thinking it's because it had a follow vehicle in front of it that it proceeded in the correct lane this time. This gets a score of 5. Coming up on controlled intersection number 3. Nice and smooth. Score of 5. This is the beginning of the high-speed road. I have my full self-driving profile on chill, and my vehicle speed set to 8% over, which in this particular area, the speed limit is 40, so the car will do 43. Coming up here, two things happen. One is my vehicle actually changes lanes away from invisible cones, and you'll see it happen here. And the speed of this road actually increases to 45, and you'll see full self-driving go up to 49 miles an hour. I'm giving this high-speed road a grade of 4, and the reason for that is because I hit the autopilot snapshot button because of the odd lane changes. The vehicle saw the updated speed limit sign, and you notice that we're increasing our speed to the higher speed limit. Coming up next is roundabout number 2. Roundabout 2 has 2 lanes proceeding through it. You need to be in the right lane to go right, which is what our path is on. And if you wanted to proceed straight, you can do it from either this lane that we're currently riding in, or you can do it from the lane on the left there. Car begins slowing here. And you can see how all the other vehicles slowly yield and proceed through, yet we come to a full stop, and it was an abrupt stop, and then it hesitates to get through. I give this a score of 4. Coming up on another controlled intersection here, controlled intersection number 4. What catches me a little off guard here is that I truthfully didn't realize that they repainted the lines originally a few weeks ago. You had to be in a leftmost lane to proceed straight through this intersection. Car proceeds nicely through the intersection. I give this a score of 5. No one handled the situation perfectly. Coming up on controlled intersection number 5, we need to make a right turn here. Pretty nice turn. I give this a score of 5. Something odd has been happening on this particular road here, which is where I'm not sure if it's because of the trees or because of the shadows that the car hesitates. Maintaining speed on this particular road. Not seeing it as bad today because of the bus in front of us. I think it was just because the car is actually encouraged that there's a follow vehicle in front of it. Now here we need to pass the bus on the right. Car slows down a little bit and then proceeds. Coming up on roundabout number 3. So we have to slow down because there's a car in front of us. And there's a car to our left. The Tesla decides to go, and I actually end up having to punch it here because it made the decision to go and would have essentially slowed traffic down behind it. I give this a score of 3 because I had to use essentially encourage it with the accelerator pedal. We are coming up on a school zone here. There, you can see there's a blinking yellow on to the right there, which means that the speed limit has to drop to 20 miles an hour. So I adjusted the set speed, and because of the follow vehicle in front of us, that's the reason why we're going the correct speed now. Out of the school zone, so I resumed the speed back up. There's another school zone up here as well prior to the roundabout. Adjusting down for it now. Coming up on roundabout number 4. We need to proceed right through this roundabout and take the first exit. Notice how the cars in front of us, when it was clear to go, just kind of kept rolling through. It's clear for us to go. I'm actually pressing the accelerator right here because I have vehicles behind me. I give this roundabout a score of 3. Heading back through controlled intersection number 3. Approaching controlled intersection number 3, in which we have to take a left-hand turn this time from. It should be following these other vehicles here, but what it's doing is it wanted to continue straight, and I had to slam on the brakes to get behind the other vehicles. So I give this intersection, or this particular left turn, a score of a 1. Now I did re-engage and it proceeded through the left turn here successfully. However, because of the ranking system and it not choosing the right lane, again, I give it a score of 1. Controlled intersection number 2, you'll notice how it continues to want to choose the right lane. This is incorrect. It needs to remain in this left-hand lane that we're currently in because of the roundabout that's coming up. And even still, you can see it wanting to get in that rightmost lane. I quickly select the opposite turn signal to counteract the effect of it wanting to pick that lane. As we come up onto roundabout number 1, you notice it hard brakes and slowly enters the roundabout and then quickly starts accelerating on the way out. It's far too quick on the exit. On the final unmarked roads, I give this a score of 4. And I apologize that the video here will cut out a little short from prior to where it usually will. Usually I'll allow this to go a right-hand turn and we can follow it up the street to give you the most amount of unmarked roads. You see here that the vehicle's kind of veering a little bit to the left. That's the reason I hit the autopilot snapshot button and the reason I gave it a 4. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. FSD final score is 3.6, as you can see there on 10.12.2. This is prior to the 10.69 release. Can't wait to get it in my car and hope that the scoring system is a lot better. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and look forward to hearing from you next time and your thoughts.